Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. And today's topic is how to have a strong marriage after kids. And this means, of course, after kids are born. And what happens fairly often is that we lose sight of why we got married in the first place. Now, I used to be a divorce mediator, so I heard this excuse many times. This is many years ago, of course, before I changed my practice over to saving marriages. But people would say, I love my kids more than my husband or more than my wife. It's just not the same, and things got worse and worse, and now we want a divorce, and I would make a lot of money. And I thought, man, all these people, they have kids. Kids suffer tremendously when there's a divorce. And the mainstream is trying to hide this fact. But there's like 60, 70 years of studies, and all of them say the same thing. The kids get tremendously hurt. So you don't want to get on that slope towards divorce. You want to get your marriage reconstituted. And I'm going to help you here with this. And I'm going to start by talking about why you got married in the first place. Now, maybe one of the sub-reasons, well, for sure one of the sub-reasons was to have children. It's this idea of having kids isn't from thinking how wonderful it is to have kids. It's hard to have kids. And don't you wish someone had warned you? It's actually a biological drive. Every one of us, we're all souls, essentially. And this is not a religious talk, but we're souls. And we have a body, and we have a mind. And the body consists of trillions of cells, and as you know from your biology class, a cell is all about survival. That's it. We know life by its drive to survive. So these trillions of cells are constantly reminding your mind to survive. And it comes out in many forms. But a sub-context of the drive to survive is propagation. And that's what having kids from a biological point of view is all about. So what happens when we don't have actually a plan for our marriage, when we don't understand marriage, and most people don't. Most people don't. I got into this so I could teach people about what marriage actually is, because most people have no idea. We don't get this in school. We learn about marriage and relationships from Hollywood. Think how insane that is. These people, and I used to work with them. I'm not condemning them. They would drive down to see me in San Diego after I shifted. I didn't do divorce mediation for them, but I helped many directors and actors and screenwriters save their marriages. They don't know about marriage. I mean, they think sex is recreation. Going back to this, what about the kids? Well, what happens is because you don't know about marriage, you don't have goals and aspirations within your marriage that are on track with what marriage is intended to deliver, which is love and happiness. So you end up living a very mundane life, boring life, and you look for distractions. Alcohol, pot, movies, video games, television ad nauseum. Doesn't work. And so what happens is you get into your kids' lives. You live your life through your kids, which is not okay. It's not. I mean, it's positioned as okay by many people, but it really isn't okay. You have your own life and they have theirs. Your life as a husband or a wife is meant to be a very spiritual life of love and happiness. That's what your marriage is supposed to deliver. So you got to start looking at your marriage as, am I doing this right? Don't blame your marriage. Don't blame your partner. Ask yourself, am I doing this right? Because if you were, you would be floating in happiness. You would be floating in love, because that's what marriage delivers when you are doing it right. So life after you have kids should be, you got to take care of your kids, but you still have to direct your energies into your spouse, into your marriage, because it's how you evolve. The two purposes of marriage are to be happy and to learn how to love unconditionally. This learning how to love unconditionally is a universal spiritual course for every human being, so that they could reclaim their identity as a soul and live in joy. Believe it or not, that's our purpose. Nothing else comes close. Now, the problem is that we are bombarded with misinformation and disinformation. Really, look up love. Google it. Look it up in a dictionary. I don't care where you look it up. You will see love is an emotion. Love is an increased like, or worded somehow to mean that, which is nonsense. You know what love is. It's huge. It is an infinite thing. Just because you can't deal with it materially, you can't measure it, you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it. And that feeling is you feeling yourself, feeling God, feeling love. Love is its own thing, but we're not taught this. The solution, frankly, is for you to learn about marriage. Now, you could watch these videos, subscribe if you haven't already, get one of my books, doesn't matter. Videos are free, articles are free. But you really want to get the most out. You know, there's people who buy a new camera, they take it out of the box, and they figure it out as they go along. And they do okay. And then someone comes along and says, did you know this about your camera? Well, no, I didn't. And then there's the other type who buys a new camera and reads the manual for 2 or 3 days before they even put the batteries in. And they know everything about that camera, and their camera is delivering all these nifty things. Marriage is the same way. You bought marriage, but you didn't have a manual. It's not your fault. We're not taught. We should be, but it's no one's fault, because as far as I know, I'm literally the first person to dig deep into marriage to this degree, because it's just a situation that got me into it, but I'm into it now. It's beautiful. Been doing this now for over 20 years. It's great, because I help people see how to use marriage, how to gain from it, how to save their marriage if it's in trouble. Your marriage is heading towards trouble if it's suffering because of the kids. It's not. It's suffering in spite of having children. So learn about marriage. Learn about marriage. And like this video. And leave a comment if you'd like. And I'm Paul Friedman, and I founded the Marriage Foundation, and I'm glad I did, because it is fun helping people. So thank you for spending time with me. God bless you, and take care.